What's up, friends? Today we're going to be talking about rings, more specifically wearing rings when you skateboard. Now, I've been wearing rings while I skateboard for about 3 years now. I was wearing them before, but I never skateboarded in them. I would take them off and put them like in my bag or in my car while I skateboarded, and I'd skateboard without them. However, I have not taken them off to skate for 3 years now. The reason being, I just like the way they feel, I like the way they look, and I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of wearing rings while you skateboard today. Now, if you click this video, you may be curious about if you want to wear rings while you skateboard, or you just clicked it because you want to watch a video, and that's completely fine, and thank you for being here and joining us either way. So one thing really important to know when you're wearing rings while skateboarding is they will get messed up. They will be ripped, they will tear, they will bend, just depending on what kind of ring you have. So no matter what you think, you're gonna ruin your ring, and that's just inevitable. Now, do I recommend skating in $1,000 rings? Not necessarily, but you can if you want to. I mean, it really just depends on what you're skating. If you're skating a skate park, you should be okay mostly. It won't scratch up as bad. If you're skating the streets, it will probably get pretty scratched. That's just how metal against asphalt and concrete works, you know? Wow, I'm like a scientist. I just figured that out. Wow, I'm an idiot. But as you can see right here, these two rings have a lot of scratches on them. This one doesn't as much, and this one has a lot too. This ring right here has gotten collapsed in. It's not a very expensive ring. It's about maybe $50, and it's gotten pushed in a lot just from skating on it. This one is one I really want to talk about and discuss because it's really important when you're getting the rings while skating to decide which kind you're getting, and I'll explain that right now. So these three rings, this one, and this one, all are rounded off rings at the bottom. So if you can see right here, that ring is not sharp on the edges, which means that I never cut myself using these rings. I'm sure it is possible, but it's very unlikely. However, this ring right here, I want to replace because this ring is very sharp on the edges and it has cut me many times. You can see the red mark. It's left scars, and it's not fun. It really hurts. Yeah, I definitely would recommend getting rounded off rings because these ones will cut you on your skateboard. Whether you're picking up your board or you fall on the ground, it's gonna dig into your skin and leave a pretty deep mark into your finger. Now, on the discussion of rings, they feel good when you skate. I love the way they feel when you grab your skateboard. It makes a very distinct noise, which I'll show you guys right now. So I'll show you right here. It makes a very nice noise. So when you do grab tricks or anything like that, it makes a really nice, just crisp noise that I really like hearing. And that's just me when I skateboard. I just enjoy hearing that noise, and it really does not affect my grab tricks in any way whatsoever. The rings I have are the perfect size to where I can bend my fingers so I can grab my board. It does not mess with me grabbing my board in any way. Now, if you're planning on skating in the full finger rings, that's gonna be a lot more dangerous, and to be honest, I would not recommend skating in those just because you can break your finger very easily. I had one that covered my knuckle, and I took it off after the first fall with it because I immediately knew like this could go very bad. So I definitely recommend staying with these type of rings while skateboarding, not ones that cover your full finger and or any joint movement. You want to still have full movement when you skateboard. And I'm wearing 4 rings right now. That's just because I like the way that looks. However, you can wear all 5 on both hands, and it probably should not affect grabbing your board or any type of that with your tricks. But there are a lot of very dangerous things about wearing rings while you skateboard, and that includes literally cutting your finger off. You can rip your entire finger off and or all of your skin, breaking the bone, breaking the finger entirely, and that's not sick at all. That sounds terrifying, and I think about that a lot while I'm skating, and it definitely scares me a lot, and rightfully so. I mean, it's scary. You don't want to lose a finger, do you? Lawnmower guy. Now I'm gonna show some examples of how you can break, tear, cut, rip off your entire finger while wearing rings, skateboarding, and or even hopping over a fence into a school. I'm gonna be using this fence as an example because this is your typical fence that you'd find while hopping over schools or hopping into skate parks or anything like that. And you usually, when you do this, you grapple on with your fingers because it's very like easy, and that's how you can climb up it. But that's where the problem comes with the rings. As you can see right here, my rings can get caught and pull and rip against your hand and or cut them completely off, especially with a ring like this. So say you get to the top of the fence and you're about to jump off on the other side, but you're still holding on, and you go down and pull. This is going to get caught just like that, and you are going to cut your entire finger off, break it. A lot of bad things can happen just from climbing fences with your rings. As scary as that sounds, it's never happened to me. Luckily, I've climbed many fences. Don't tell the police that, but I've climbed many fences into schools, and nothing has happened so far. I've had some close calls where I thought possibly it'd get stuck, and it has kind of like pinched me. I've definitely pinched myself, but so far nothing where I've completely cut my hand doing that. Now, we're going to talk about the second example of incidences where you can break your finger, rip it off, or cut it just in general. And a lot of people might be surprised about this, but it actually is on rails. Rails will definitely get your fingers. I have cut my finger using this ring on this type of obstacle specifically like 3 times already. And I actually know someone who has cut their finger off because they've fallen and went and grabbed a rail as they fall, and it's completely cut their whole finger off. They luckily were able to get it put back on because they put it on ice immediately. They went to the hospital and they sewed it back on. However, that's very scary. It's a very scary thought, and I feel like a lot of people, when they're falling on rails, they go to grab it. And if you're wearing rings, that's pretty dangerous. I'm going to show exactly how that happens right now. So say I'm leaning down to grab the rail. This ring can get caught and lodged into the rail, and my finger obviously is not very strong, causing it to rip all my skin off or break my finger or rip off. Obviously, as you see, it's a rail. Coping is also round metal, and it can happen on coping. It's never happened to me on coping, but I know it has happened to people. So also be careful about falling and grabbing coping as you head down on a ramp. For the last example of situations where I personally have cut myself on, and I believe other people have too, it's just the act of falling. The momentum you carry as you hit the ground wearing these rings can push the rings very deep into your skin, and they can get lodged in them, which has happened to me with this ring. This ring is cut extremely deep into this finger right here, and I had to literally like pull it out. It cut very deep, and it was not fun at all. But these rings that are rounded off, it's never happened with those rings before.
Hey, there's a discount right there. Not like this, like this. Good turn. Good turn.
So in conclusion, is it dangerous to wear rings when you skateboard? The answer is yes, but skateboarding is dangerous as well. And if you want to take those risks, go for it. If you guys enjoyed that video, leave it a like, comment what you want me to do next, and comment if you're going to start wearing rings or if you already do wear rings, and if you have any stories of getting hurt and wearing rings in any way whatsoever that you can help other people down below that are thinking about wearing rings when they skateboard. That was a lot of rambling, but I love you guys. Stay alive. I'll see you in the next video.